Hello, everybody, this is Purge, bringing you a Purge Cast of Pub. I know it's been a couple weeks since I did one of these, but I got another one coming for you. I know this one's relatively long, so let's get into it, and I'm going to have to speed things up a little bit because I have to be at a haircut appointment. I have to leave in about an hour, so let us accelerate. So, first things first, I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. I'm going to call him A. He's playing Axe. 2 tangos and a stout and 2 ironwood branches. This is fine for a starting item build. I'd like to see maybe a mango or something, just because Axe has pretty high base strength, so any regen that you do get is going to be pushed a little bit farther on heroes like this. The puck is going for a Null Talisman. His tag also, I don't know his name. Null Talisman, 1 tango. Pretty standard for mid. We got a Pudge. I believe we're watching a Russian server game if I had to guess. We got Pudge, 2 tangos, a mango, 2 clarities, and windlays. This is pretty good for starting item build. We'll talk about it in a second. Sanking, lemon grab. Oh, I know, lemon grab. This is a really bad starting item build. Cover that in a bit. Deathwalker playing anti-mage. Skyth Mage being played by Jojo. Ram A playing Bristleback. High is playing Enigma. Ito's Lemma is playing Darkseer. And Banana Man is playing Medusa. So, items I want to talk about. The reason this is trash is because a full magic wand is kind of expensive for what it gives you. It used to be a lot more valuable in that it gave you trickle regen, but it doesn't do that anymore. It's just 3 stats, so as you complete it, it gives you 1 bonus attribute, and it lets you have up to 20 charges instead of just 10. So basically, you're sinking this 150 gold into the recipe, which means that technically this 150 gold pays for the 1 ironwood branch, or the 1 attribute, and the ability to double the magic wand's capacity. So this is really trash. You don't want to start with a build like this. It's really expensive, and you need things like regen, mana regen usually. Now if he's jungling, it doesn't really matter that much because he's basically going to wait for these camps to spawn in literally a whole minute. But ultimately this is a really bad strategy, and that's because if he's jungling here, that means that his one of his lanes is going to be in a slight disadvantage. And if that's the case, then that means Axe is probably going to get less last hits than he should. With that said, so far he's doing pretty fine. But it still is helpful to have that extra hero there because you can do things like deny creeps. And if you deny creeps, that's a lot less experience going to the enemy hero. So it's pretty important actually that, okay, interesting, that you do have some backup in your lane in most cases. Enigma in a dual lane is totally fine, but usually he's the one that wants to hit creeps, and he's actually going to feed all of his Eidolons here, which is actually an insane amount of gold. Big mistake here. In fact, if I were him, oh, he's going to buy boots. Okay, this is probably fine, so he can actually catch up to people. I mean, this is just such a good way to get... I would have definitely played around with getting a call here. Now it's getting way too late. I kind of wish for this guy's sake that he had a salve because he'd be regenning a little bit faster. This is actually going to be like the slowest thing ever. I mean, it does do 40 damage a second, sorry. But I think it would be better if you would do a medium camp instead. If he starts the Alpha Wolf, it's 3 smaller creeps usually, and he'd be able to clear them a little bit faster. I mean, it looks like he's going to maybe be able to do this before the stack mark. If he can get a stack off, he's not going to be able to get the stack off, but he will clear the camp before it dies. If he could have killed that and then stacked the medium camp over here, and then resumed what he was doing, this would have been a lot better. But so far, it's definitely not great. Null Talisman 1 tango is pretty common at lower levels for mid lanes, just because you can't necessarily rely on allies to pull you regen. If he's mid against a Skyreth Mage, going for a quick magic wand is a good move. You can also potentially get a raindrop if you want. That'll help offset some of the harass you're taking, but generally just bringing a lot of regen is a good idea. And if you're playing mid on Skyreth Mage, you don't really want to get a Gloves of Haste to start, because all it does is increases your attack speed. And what's actually more important is that you deal more damage and have more mana pool. So what you want to do instead is buy a lot of items that increase your intelligence. So what Thompson does when he goes Skyreth mid, and it's really fun to watch, is he actually maxes out Arcane Bolt and Concussive Shot equally, and then he just buys a lot of Null Talismans. And then using all those Null Talismans, it increases his intelligence, which gives him more mana pool. It gives him more mana regen for any mana regen he does get. And then every int that you get increases your Arcane Bolt damage by 1.6, not counting the spell amp that it increases. So it's just very good to sit in your lane basically, and you just end up kind of dominating your opponent because you just keep casting spells on them. So one of the reasons Puck probably won this trade here is because with his Null Talisman, which costs a little bit less than a Gloves of Haste, he's dealing 7 damage. He has 3 attack speed, whereas the Skyreth Mage has 20 attack speed, and that's it. So he's got no more extra HP, none of that other good stuff. So it's generally better to grab things like Null Talismans just because more damage, a little bit of HP, a little bit of attack speed, a little bit of mana regen kind of stuff. increased mana regen, that is. Because it gives you, each Null Talisman gives you about 7 or about 10% more regen from mana. Maybe a little bit more because Puck is an anti-hero, but those are generally better to buy. So if you just kind of stack up Null Talismans and get a little bit of mana regen, you can generally harass your opponent down. But against a Puck, it's hard because he can use Phase Shift to phase out and dodge one of your Arcane Bolts every 6 seconds or so. And in the meantime, Puck is actually just sitting in this lane getting last hits, letting creeps die in his vicinity, which means that now Skywrath is behind. And when you play Skywrath core, it's actually pretty important that you don't get kind of zoned out of lane like this. He kind of zoned himself by leaving the lane by grabbing the invis. That's another important thing, that if you're ganking, that you're successful with your gank, that you do a smart thing when you go for that gank. But so far, Sky's been having a lot of trouble doing anything in his lane. The item that he purchased doesn't make his hero that much better. Yes, he can attack faster, but he's not going to get more last hits because his damage hasn't been increased. He just attacks faster. And when he does end up getting invis and ganking, it ends up producing nothing. So basically, this whole time, Puck has just been solo in this lane doing whatever the heck he wants, which is basically just him hitting towers. So pretty crappy play so far. And then we have a Darkseer playing as a support. This isn't good either. When you play Darkseer, there's very situational ways that it works out, but the best way is that you go to your lane and you lane with a melee hero, and you almost always want to go off lane so you can kind of pressure your opponents. Lane with a melee hero, and then you and your opponent, your ally with Ion Shells, kind of bully the crap out of the safe lane. But it's pretty rare these days. It's not very common to do so. This Pudge build is also arguably wrong starting. Generally, the way that Pudge kind of works as a hero right now is you get Hook at level 1, and you use Hook to deal a lot of damage because it does 150 pure damage at level 1. You hook people, and then you usually get an Orb of Venom with it. And that way, when you hook somebody, you hook them to you, and then you attack a couple times with Orb of Venom, which increases your damage potential. And Pudge actually has really high base damage right now, so if you hook somebody to you, and you can attack them a couple times with Orb of Venom, it's going to be good times. So that is Pudge stuff. Anti-Mage is actually in a dual off lane here, or is he solo off lane? No, he's been in a dual lane actually. Pudge was with him, I believe, but that's not the case anymore. And it turns out Sand King has actually been farming alright. If we take a look at the net worth, it's not bad. And the only reason this works basically is because players at this level don't know how to last hit well. So apparently this does work. Caustic Finale, I'm sure, accelerates this a bit as well. Unfortunately for him, I don't think he's going to kill this before it stacks. So he's going to miss a stack here, and he actually just barely ran out in time. So on to his next target. Okay, good, he's actually doing this right. He's at least attacking each one time before he's going to Sandstorm here, because at least then they will pop. The sad part is that they're actually not going to pop near each other, so these ended up just doing less damage in the first place. And he has to kind of just ride this one out. I'm a little surprised that he has Tranquil Boots, I guess, but whatever, man. All of the net worths are relatively even, though, and that's, again, just because people are not very good at last hitting at this level. Their last hits are not terrible, though. 25s at 6 minutes isn't terrible. This guy looks quite dead, but Pudge landing a nice hook here. Ooh, this is now very dangerous for the Pudge. But if you can buy time for 7 seconds, they could potentially get this kill. If Sand King had any Burrow Strike points, they could also get a kill, and now everybody loses the Shrine. Pudge is going to be upset about that one. And now Sand King back to jungling. Good for him. I don't know why he's not phase shift dodging these spells. It's a bit confusing. Tranquil Boots on a Skywrath Mage core is not a good thing to get. Just because we're talking about... yes, he gets movement speed, but you usually want something like either you get Treads, therefore you should deny this range creep. You get Treads, that way you get more int, and it gives you more attack speed. He has a terrible agility gain, so more attack speed is not always bad. Or you can go something like Arcanes to just have more mana, but generally I recommend either Brown Boots, Treads. If you're support, Arcanes can work certainly, but something kind of in the middle there. But this guy's clearly had a lot of mana problems, so one way to solve this with somebody that does have a pretty high int gain is that you get things like Null Talismans, and then you use Clarity Potions, or you get a Raindrop as well. That way he can protect himself if he gets nuked by Puck, for example, and then he just gets a lot more trickle mana over time. Because right now he's not doing anything to increase his mana over time, basically. He's also not canceling his spell animations. When he's casting his spells, he's not following up with anything else. And his nukes also do just absolutely no damage. Is pretty incredible. And that's basically just because he doesn't have any stats. If this guy has stats, he's going to deal massively more damage to the Puck. But Puck has Wand, double Null Talisman. This is, what, 9 strength, basically? So we're talking about almost 180 more HP than he should have. Whereas if you look at the Skywrath Mage, 740 HP. If he has double Null Talisman, for example, and a Wand, then that trade ends up going much more in his favor, because he'd be getting 14 17 more intelligence, which is going to end up doing like an extra 25 damage or something per arcane bolt, and he cast that a couple times already. So basically these extra points of arcane bolt, he's only getting like 20 damage per skill, so he's not really doing a lot to make his hero very useful. He basically doesn't know how to use his hero very well. This is kind of what it looked like the first time I played Skywrath Mage. But you have to be very focused and organized. You have to like use your ultis and your silences at the right time, because you do amplify damage with Ancient Seal. Now he's going to get killed again most likely. Yeah, he does get hooked. So this is kind of like your basics of what not to do when you play in the mid lane, is that if you go to the mid lane, it's still very important to focus on last hits. And it's very easy to make this mistake when you play Sky mid, because it may just seem like, oh, I just go mid and I cast Arcane Bolt and that's all I need to do. But the reality is that you need to go mid and you need to last hit and you need to cast Arcane Bolt. All of those things are important. This guy should probably cast Vacuum. That might have made a difference. Probably not, but you need to do both. You need to get all the last hits, and you need to cast Arcane Bolts on your opponent so that he runs out of regen, so he has to leave the lane. That's the basic fundamentals of winning Dota right now. And at lower skill levels, they don't have the same abilities and skill to be able to get all the last hits, so it's not as big of a deal, but it's really recommended if you can swing it that you focus in that way. Enigma's items are kind of interesting. Normally, Soul Ring is the go-to for Enigma, just because it gives him raw HP and mana regen. But something like a Basilius can work okay. Arcane Boots potentially are usable. This guy spent way too much time dancing with this Centaur. He just needed to get to attacking. But his skill build is good. 2 Malefice early game is fine. Sometimes you might want to get a Midnight Pulse instead if you're against like a Monkey King to cut trees, for example. But generally it's better to avoid. These guys really want to play. I cannot play. Laning against Medusa is not all terrible because he can drain his mana or whatever, but in that same vein, how's he doing? 36 versus the Medusa's 51. So he is losing the lane technically, but he's also doing kind of okay. One thing he's really missing is a Stout Shield. There's no way that as a melee hero you should ever skip Stout Shield for the laning stage. It just blocks way too much damage in terms of damage output. That was a hook to the back, so okay, they do still end up killing him, pretty straightforward. Pudge's build is a little bit, you could argue, wrong maybe. The extra hook levels really decrease the cooldown. You get 70 pure damage per level. That's not bad either. But generally, more Rots is seen as favorable. I think even pro players would probably go they have been going 1-4-1. Some I saw were going 1-4-4. At least they did that in Toronto when we were watching the tournament with OG, I believe. Like if he has more Rot levels there, he chases longer because the slow duration is higher. Like if his Rot, alright guys, I literally can't. I cannot play, please, the third one. If he has more Rot slow there, then that would help offset the slow that was provided against him due to Skywrath Mage. Now it's still hard because Sky's got Tranquil Boots and he's a really fast hero. So it's hard to get the kill anyways, and he was also slowed by Concussive Shot, but if you have more Rot levels, I think there's a better chance you get the kill there as long as you walk with him for a little bit longer. If he had more mana, it would be fine as well. But I think I prefer something like 1-4-1 or 2-4-0, I think is potentially good as well. Kind of depends how many kills you're in. He's been in 3 early on. If he gets Flesh Heap, he'd get 3 strength right now, and he'd have 8% magic resistance, which wouldn't be terrible. But it's kind of up to you. But generally, you want to max Rot pretty fast. That's generally quite recommended. I kind of want Pudge to go for a hook, but if he does that, then the axe would be casted upon a second time. Missed hook on a stun target, rough stuff. Something bristles. We'll see if he does it correctly. He's not quite doing this correctly. Okay, almost. What he should be doing is pulling these creep waves together. So what you can do, kind of, it's best with like this camp and this camp. But you want to use quills on one camp, and then you want to run those creeps to the next one. That way, when he runs them out here, he can cast quills, which will aggro this camp. And then you can get some stacking of quills. So rather than all of your stacking of quills getting just one camp, it's actually getting 2 camps a little bit. And doing this is generally going to increase your farm level by a lot. Missed some great engagement bottom. Faz Veil on Puck. This is actually a pretty common build. The item itself isn't stat-wise very amazing by combining everything. It pretty much gives you what all the base components do, but when you use Veil and it lowers their magic resistance by 25%, it's increasing your magic damage by 25%. So if you're a hero like Puck that has 2 AoE nukes that both do slightly low damage at 280, that means that if you Veil a creep wave, you're going to be able to kill it with both of your spells. So every time he spends 270 mana and the Veil from Veil of Discord, about 300 mana, he's clearing an entire creep wave, which on a 11 to 13 second cooldown, that means that he's going to gather a lot of personal resources pretty rapidly. Pudge did end up poking, or leveling up Meat Hook first, it looks like. I think he maybe should have channeled ulti right away, but he would have very likely just been silenced anyway, so he probably made the right move. I just would have liked to see him throw a hook a little bit earlier on the Enigma. It kind of required the Axe to land a blink call for that to work out. Darkseer hasn't really done that much. 0, 2, and 0. Oh, by the way, our Sand King has actually just been, this whole time, just jungling. He's got his Blink Dagger, though. So for 14 minutes, basically, Sand King has done nothing to help his team, other than gather his own resources. So this is bad. It's basically been a 4v5, and they're still winning 13-1, which is not something that should be happening in the slightest. Anti-Mage has finished his Battle Fury, but he still doesn't have a Stout Shield, which he's going to need when he's jungling. And right now, what he should be focusing on mostly is pushing a lane. So you have ulti, he doesn't actually. So this makes Anti-Mage's job kind of hard here. He could get his boots, though. Okay, works out anyways. Haste makes killing the courier really easy. So the Radiant team's in just a pretty huge advantage here. So Am, Stout Shield, and Power Treads would be the way to go. X being quite pressured here. Not quite doing enough damage. Noob team. Little does he know, there's been a jungling Sand King for 15 minutes. He does have a lot of last hits. And this is why jungling was actually pretty decent at lower levels in the past with like Iron Talons and stuff, is because what's probably going to happen is that this guy's going to jungle the whole game and he's not going to get pressured, and if he kind of figures out how to do it, he's going to get his items. Is this where we see an epicenter? That was definitely his moment, but he kind of... There's the Sandstorm. Incredible join of the game here. They just might die into the Sandstorm, though. You never know. I don't think they had detection. They didn't. They could have vacuumed. They could have black holed, I guess, but... And that was all of his mana. He's actually done now. That's literally all he can do. He can do another Burrow Strike, I guess, but... For now, he waits until somebody dives the tower stupidly. And then maybe he can help again. How's our Axe doing? Axe is ready. Tranquil Boots are the old Axe build. You don't really do this anymore. You'll go Brown Boots Vanguard, because it helps you stay in the lane a lot longer than the opposite. I don't know if he had the mana to hook or not, but if he did hook, that would have been a kill. So maybe a bit of a mistake there. Puck wanting a kill. Puck getting a kill. I kind of felt that one coming. That's a decent black hole. Can he get the kill though? This man needs to... Okay, he did at the right time. I think there's a high chance he just dies here though, yeah. Oh, Enigma doesn't have Blink, but he does have a Midas, so he's going to be able to catch up, that's for sure. What's going on with Anti-Mage? Anti-Mage is not farming. Axe trying to solo kill heroes that have full HP, basically. That's not going to work out. There's the rot range that we all love. Oh, he really needed to not attack there. Alright, he's still going to get the kill, but that shouldn't have happened. I mean, again, it's the same issue. He doesn't have rot maxed out, and honestly, a pointed flesh heap would do a lot for this Pudge. He's 4, 1, and 5, though. So he's still doing well. And if this guy had a Stout Shield, he would be blocking a massive percentage of HP from all of these creeps. He's also not getting Power Treads, which is a big mistake, because that's a 950 gold item upgrade that is going to increase his farming speed by a huge, huge amount. So this Anti-Mage is not playing correctly. What is this weird animation? I'm not sure if this is because I'm watching an old replay or what, but it feels weird to me. He should also be maxing out Blink and blinking from camp to camp, so he's farming inefficiently here. Like, all these extra points in Spell Shield are generally not that needed early on, because you're getting an extra 10%, and even though you have this much HP, you're talking like, if I go from full HP as Anti-Mage right now, all the way dead, then each point of Spell Shield past the first one gives me 100 HP, if you're at 1000 HP. So it's like, okay, it's good, but over lowered Blink cooldown, there's no way that's better. That is far better in terms of increasing your speed. And if you get Power Treads, you can also Tread Switch faster, and therefore Tread Switch when you cast spells, and therefore get out of danger a lot faster. Pudge got a Blink Dagger. I actually really like Blink Pudge. I think this is the way to go in a lot of cases, because you get to do stuff like this. Alright, he needs to recast his spell. Ooh, interesting. That one was definitely something. Oh, Axe is definitely getting some kills here. Oh, he's dealing some good damage actually. Creeps are all dead now though, so it's probably over. Should be a dead Pudge. That is some minus armor, man. Alright, Axe is going to save the day again. Axe, you are allowed to attack, believe it or not. Alright, that was a good shot. I don't know if they can get this guy or not. We have to get another blink call. Oh yeah, you can get him. JK. Use that way too early. So Enigma just got a lot of gold. Went for the magic resistance talent. How's our Skywrath Mage doing? Where's our Skywrath Mage? Oh, he's finally getting stat items. Double bracer. These are the kind of things he could have bought literally a very long time ago. Oh no. Poor Skywrath Mage. He wanted the kill, but he just didn't know how to do it correctly. Please dodge. Cast your spells. Please, please. Okay. He certainly could have killed. I'm sad, man. But this guy. Alright, they're all okay. Here comes Bristle. Generally, when you end your ulti, that's right when you want to last shoot out your hook. It's pretty important, because that's your best chance of getting the kill is like right there. Aether Lens on Sanking is really bizarre. This is not your item. I think he needs a Yule Scepter to be able to dispel himself if he gets silenced, or he needs a Force Staff. One of those two items. Sometimes you can go like Shadow Blade, but for a hero that doesn't right-click as much, like Sanking doesn't, I think Shadow Blade is not nearly as good as a Yule's or a Force Staff. So Bounty Runes are really important, guys. If you can get used to keeping an eye on Bounty Runes and grabbing those, they're a big gold swing almost every single time. Slightly missed blink here. Really nice follow-up though. Really shitty ulti. But Am does show up to the fight. Am's actually doing pretty good. Showing up to fights when it matters. But now he has nothing. And it's definitely time to leave for him. Thank you, Pudge. That's always the best. Don't like the drum on Enigma too much. It's not ultimately super bad. There's actually so much damage. Because it does make his Eidolons faster, but... Well, I mean, it's kind of working out. It makes his Eidolons faster. Usually you just want to get Helm of the Dominator instead. That usually ends up being a lot better. But as a whole, there's just kind of a lot of like people throwing bodies at each other, and I don't think very much efficiency is what it feels like so far. No deny here. And he goes for GPM over cooldown. I don't think this is that unreasonable at this point. Generally, you kind of want to get the cool... In the past, if you got Midas, you'd always want cooldown, because it lowered the cooldown of your Midas while also lowering the cooldown of your other spells. But 150 GPM just got buffed. It used to be 120. Now it's even better. So I think the GPM increase, if you get cooldown reduction, is like 30 or something like that. It's pretty good, but it's nothing close to 150. But, you know, lower Midas cooldown means you also level faster. So you could argue that also increases your overall farm level, but... You know, it's kind of flexible. Looks like Puck going for a Dagon next, so he can solo kill heroes. The Darkseer is definitely gonna be a little tough to grab, though. I mean, he's doing some damage, but this is in no way plenty. Oh, Hook is definitely gonna help though. Hooks him out of range. All right, Puck's doing things right. That was interesting. I don't think he understands how the orb works necessarily. Our Axe has definitely wasted his life now. Or at least put himself in a bad situation. Good luck, Axe. Oh, Anti-Mage does have his Manta finish, though. Oh, this is a very good ulti. Will anybody defend this Axe? Oh, he's super dead. Okay. Could have ultied that if he reacted in time, but... So the fight's kind of still just going really well for the Radiant team. They're generally using their skills a little bit better, I would say. But, you know, as time goes on, maybe it'll change around a little bit. Atos generally is a pretty good Skywrath Mage item, because it gives you a lot of int, 20 int, 15 strength, a little bit of agility too. And it also immobilizes people, so you could just like use Ancient Seal and Mystic Flare and stuff, but... Generally, the Skywrath Mage is dying too much and not accomplishing enough with his roaming. That's because he's kind of relying almost entirely on things like Arcane Bolt to get kills. One really important thing to remember, guys, is that if you have an empty inventory like this and you're making mistakes, there's a lot of things that could be here that are really valuable. I know there's a black hole, but we're talking about Magic Stick, 200 gold. Very inexpensive, but potentially can heal you for 150 health. We're talking Ironwood Branches. We're talking Raindrops. Hold a Clarity Potion. That way, if you lose a bunch of mana later, you can just pop your Clarity Potion instead of going back to heal. He should have TP Scrolls. He could have a Dust, maybe, to help them spot, like, the Sand King, for example. There's a lot of things. Alright, something really embarrassing happened over here, but it's okay. It's over for now. We don't have to talk about it anymore. He definitely could have thrown a hook there, but kind of lost his opportunity. Alright, that's definitely a hook one. He wanted the Enigma instead, I see. Oh, the power of Disable. Black hole them! I mean, this game is kind of a big shit show. That's definitely the stun you throw. But I think he's trying to wait to steal the... he's trying to wait to steal the kill, I think. And he needs to not right-click when he does this. Like, it's really important that you're walking with people when you're playing Pudge, so you can get the maximum out of your chase. Is Bristle gonna kill everybody here? Kind of looks like it. And there he will die. Oh, this is gonna be a turn. Okay, he does end up dying. Interesting. This would be a great time to use Atos or Silence or anything. Still not canceling his animations. The best way to do this is just cast the spells you need to cast afterwards as fast as possible after. If he just Atoses at any of these moments, and then he will kill himself on the break. He doesn't know how that skill works, I don't think. That guy seems genuinely new to the game. So I don't really blame him for the way he's playing, and he's doing okay considering, depending if he's new, I guess. But certainly misusing his skills a little bit. It's a good Axis pushing waves. It's a really good way to affect the map. Basically, you just go and hit a creep wave, and then your opponents have to show up. So this Enigma has to rotate over, the Bristleback has to TP, and even Medusa showed up because they wanted to save their tower. And if you just do that briefly, it forces your opponents to waste a lot of time, especially if you're pushing efficiently. Like if AIM just keeps running up this lane and kills a creep wave, or if he kills this neutral, and then he runs this way and kills a creep wave, he should do it after this wave 100%. He's making a giant... This is a giant mistake by Anti-Mage. If he just runs right up here and kills this creep wave's dead, it pushes up. It's going to start hitting towers, enemy heroes have to react. Instead, he's crossing his whole map just to continue jungling, because he doesn't understand that this is literally more gold than like 2 neutral camps. This very bad move. And then if this wave is pushing, people have to defend this tower. And then after you push like 2 waves here, you just go back to the jungle again. And that's when you cross the map. But instead, what's he doing? He's running around, like running across the map constantly looking for enemy kills. And he's got a lot of kills. He's doing pretty well, but it only does so much. So it was not the best initiation for our Puck here. But he is doing quite well. Very few people actually go the Spell Amp when they play Puck. Almost always they go the 50 damage, so that they have better potential to kill enemy heroes. And AM's still struggling for regen. Still doesn't have a Stout Shield. This whole time, he could have had a cheap 200 gold item that has a 50% chance to block 16 damage. Instead, he's just taking 100% damage on any hit, which is kind of crazy. Dire team is kind of grouping up and pushing. That way, they're doing a little bit better than opponents, than their opponents. This was a pretty good ultimate, I guess. Hope they got a puck kill out of it. It's got to feel good. That's pretty funny. Man, if he just rode that one out on the Enigma, certainly would have killed him. Enigma using his items pretty well here. The benefit of the Aether Lens Burrow Strike, guys. And he can't blink for 3. That's going to be a dead Pudge. Pudge is actually kind of choking. He had such a good early game, but now he's just not doing very well. Rot damage is fine. Blade Mail is fine. This guy still needs something like a Stout Shield, though. Or an Urn would be kind of nice. Just a little bit of raw armor, a little bit of heal potential. All those things are really effective. Battle Hunger? That was definitely time for Battle Hunger. As was this. He could have also Blade Mailed. If he Battle Hungers there and Blade Mails his opponent, he gets a kill. Now he's just kind of dying to magic damage. Bristle's doing a really nice job, though. Just casting a lot of Nasal Goo, lowering armor. Somebody pointed this out to me the other day, but the level 1 point skill of this reduces armor by 2. So when you cast 1 Nasal Goo on somebody, it's a 3 armor reduction, which is huge. That's like 15% damage amp from physical damage. It's a really good skill, actually, with 1 skill point. With that said, very often you're just going to see people going like 4-0-4-4, but I think an early point of Nasal Goo is absolutely valuable right now. Blink Uncontrollable Illusion. I don't know if I see that too often these days. It can be really nice if you're getting chased though, because there's always an illusion sitting behind you, scouting enemy heroes. He's going Butterfly afterwards, and the raw items that he's buying on Anti-Mage this game are good, but the order in which he's purchasing them is, he's just missing some like items that smooth the curve out a little bit and overall help you a lot on your hero. That's why his build so far is weak. This is a huge mistake to hit creeps like this when you could walk over here and hit these creeps. Again, lane pushing is so much. That's why Puck doing things like this is really valuable. Faster he gets to 25 as well, really helpful. Axe should have taken probably 2 waves here and then left. Instead it just becomes this game where everybody kind of sits around and kind of farms, but mostly jungles and doesn't really do anything. And eventually it kind of matters, but for now it's not very great. That's a Radiance Enigma. Interesting choice. That was so much damage from the break there. .3 second stun from the 4,000 gold item. It seems so good, but compared to other Medusa items, it's just not worth it because your skills are just so carry focused. It's like, why not just buy items that just make you deal far more damage than worrying about like stunning people a little bit. This guy's in big trouble. If he has a wand, maybe he lives there. If he has a Glimmer Cape, a pipe, there's a lot of things that could work out. At this point, AM is really strong. They're actually not that far ahead of their opponents, though. And that could be things like Enigma having a Radiance. It's certainly going to be a dead Medusa here. If they can just lock this guy down, they can kill him. But everybody's pretty low, I guess. That was cool. Hook him through the... Ooh, this Quill is going to do a lot of damage. Yep, saw that one coming. That was a nice black hole. Barely cleans up both heroes. That was actually so big. Bristleback barely lives. Enigma gets a double kill on really big core heroes. He's dealing Radiance damage this whole time. Oh, man. I mean, the Radiance is actually working out nicely. I guess when players aren't very organized and you're kind of just farming out of control anyways, throwing that money into something that just means you do more damage in team fights is certainly going to help, because you can't always rely on your allies to be as organized. So at lower levels, buying weird items like this, as long as you kind of know what you're doing, I think is probably fine. Sky is prepping for an Ags. Still should have a magic wand. Still should probably have like a null talisman from the laning stage, but minimum a magic wand. A little bit of stats and some burst heals would be beneficial. Amplify all of your damage by 40%. Nope, he's going to save it, guys. If he just casts all 3 spells during the Atos, the Pudge dies a lot earlier, but it's fine. Bounty runes being abused by the Dire team a little bit more, and that's part of the reason they're winning now. Anti-Mage. 30 minutes this guy didn't buy treads, and now he's like, hey, maybe I should get power treads for attack speed. It's like, yeah, dude, you could have had this the whole time. Literally, what is this? Jungling over lane? Dude, this is terrible. That was 60 gold. That's 1.5 last hits. Here's like 8 creeps that are going to die. This is like painful to watch. This is why these towers are alive. It's because nobody wants to push a creep wave because they don't realize. They're just like, I'm in a jungle because then heroes don't know where I am. That's true, but then you don't win the game. That's the problem, that they're not farming. This whole camp was about 100 gold. That's like 2 last hits. There's like so much gold here. So much gold here. So much gold here. Nobody touching it. Everybody just like sits in the middle of the map in jungles. Frustrating, man. So many good things could be happening, but instead, here we are. Ooh. Breaking that stun was probably a big mistake. He does have Tranquils, though. Fortunately, this guy is stunned. Yo, throw some spells. Kill this guy. He really wanted to get the puck. He's gonna hold it out though. You never just back down from a black hole like that. That's important. Went for the 500 health talent. They're double checking bounty runes. So it looks like they're gonna be able to get Roche at least. Oh, this doesn't look good. That's a very dead hero. Enigma is now putting himself in a really dangerous spot too. This is where he should be hooked. I don't know why he wasn't hooked. Looks like the Sand King has actually stolen the Aegis. I thought he might get Roche, but wasn't able to. I mean, oh, I'm sorry, it's 1 second at level 1. Oh, that's not too bad. The 1 second stun that makes them magic immune for the duration, but it increases the damage they take by 50%. I mean, it's not terrible. 1 second stun, 11-second cooldown. I don't know, maybe there's some like potential for that being good on this hero, but it just feels like you just buy damage items, period. It's just better. It one-shotting the Manta Illusions, I must say, is really helpful. That feels really solid. Because rather than sitting around like trying to auto-attack them, the fact that they just get one-shot is huge. I don't know. I'm kind of warming up to this Egg Scepter on Medusa thing in this game. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's like it's a really low-level game, relatively, but this is a talent I've actually never tried. +5 Malefice Instance. If he casts this, it lasts 8 stuns. It's 8 stuns for 90 damage. That becomes a nuke. That's crazy strong, actually. Which is kind of insane. No, he got the wrong talent. He didn't get Arcane Bolt per cast. He won't Ancient Seal cooldown. I'm depressed, dude. I mean, once he has Ags, he'll get double Arcane Bolt, but it's really nice to have potentially 3. It makes him farm so much faster than if you're just right-clicking and casting an occasional single target nuke. Buck really struggling to hit 25 as well. Medusa going Butterfly next, which is a really good item against Anti-Mage. It'll make it so his hits are less likely to land. He built Vanguard pre-Basher. That's the wrong way to do it. And in fact, most of the time when you get Battle Fury Manta, you want to go Basher right after. Because that way, if you get lucky and bash somebody with your Manta styles out, then you'll usually drain their mana a huge amount and then get an ulti off. So it's not good to go Butterfly first into Vanguard. If he just spends 3k to finish a Basher and then finishes Butterfly, totally fine. But in a lot of cases, anti-mages will just rush Abyssal right after the first 2 items, because it does help them get kills. Yo, just use your silence, man. I know you don't know how your hero works, but use your silence. He's very certainly dead. Certainly can kill a puck. Oh, he's going Dreamcoil Rapid Fire. Interesting. I'm really surprised he's doing this, I guess, because he did hit 25. A little slower than he expected probably, but I don't think I've ever seen somebody get this before. I'm excited to watch how this turns out. Killing this guy is not going to happen, though. I actually don't like Octarine too much myself on Bristle. I think it's a little bit too straightforward. Who died? Oh, the Darkseer. I feel like he clicked on the Bristle, but I might be wrong. I mean, he is healing a lot. It's certainly working out. This Bristle staying alive thing. And it does give him a lower cooldown and all. I mean, it's kind of working. You can right-click too, buddy. You hit for 300, just right-click people. You're not just a spellcaster. Right-click, damn it. He's got power trades. He hasn't right-clicked a single hero yet. Right-click, damn it. Look at this. 300 damage. Your ulti is not just movement speed, dude. It's also damage. So this is part of the reason I don't like Octarine is because it's just very... It's just kind of cheesy. It's like you're only based on quilling and taking damage to your back. If you get broken by like a Silver Edge, then this build sucks because instantly your Octarine doesn't really do anything. If you get like chain stunned and broken from the back. If you don't have that and you go like a mix of damage items like S and Y, AC kind of stuff, then your right click damage ends up becoming pretty incredible. So that's why I like that build better. The 30 damage warpath per stack, it doubles the effectiveness of your ultimate, which is incredible considering that's 3 skill points just to get it to that point. It's like every spell you cast, you get 60 damage. It's insane. This guy is a ulti waiting to happen. Anti-Mage, I recommend you come back and murder this guy. He went Spell Shield. Interesting. 25% Spell Shield instead of low Mana Void. I guess there is a Sky. But past that, there's not that much magic damage, actually. This was a big mistake by AM to go for the Spell Shield talent at 25. He definitely should have gone Mana Void cooldown. Like, if he jumps in and ultis this guy dies, probably. Well, he would need, like, a little bit of right-clicking, but mostly dies. What just happened? AM kills the Sky mid, I see. Now AM is kind of doing his job. He's split pushing. This is basically why this game is hard, is because AM has just been showing up to every fight. When instead what he should be doing is killing creep waves. He's maybe figured that out finally, it looks like. It's like, oh yeah, creep waves, let's hit those to push waves. But if he would have been getting his farm from creep waves this whole time, while also pushing, it would have just done so much more on the map, basically. Pudge's build has not been great, and it really hasn't scaled so well. It's like they're pushing top now. He's got his Basher just about ready. Killing this Bristle is going to be really hard, though. He's got really good regen at this stage. Tries to catch him. Looks like they're going to be able to kill the Puck for sure. Yep. Lincoln's actually really paying off there. The Burrow Strike would have interrupted that. I mean, they're doing some damage. It's just not that much. Oh, countered. That Lincoln's has been really valuable. Let's save them twice now. This Malefice actually lasts for forever. It's incredible. You need to leave. If he gets Malefice, he actually has to Manta Style. That is potentially so good, actually. 8 instances. If you put that on the right hero that doesn't have a Dispel, man, that's so obnoxious looking. Incredible. Because it's, yeah, it's 50% stunned. 50% of the time that it lasts, you're stunned. Super annoying. Eventually, Sky's going to have some baller items. That is for sure. How much time do we have left? Approximately 30 minutes. I need to leave in about 15. Alright, we're watching this from 2 times till the end of the game, guys. It's the only way. Double boots for Darkseer. Didn't buy anything else, but at least he's got a Stout Shield. I can commend him for that one. AM now going out to push bottom. He's got his Abyssal finish. He's queuing up a heart. I think that's a pretty good move. I could definitely see a Ags actually this game. You could reflect a lot of good spells actually. Goo is obviously bad. Arcane Bolt not so good. But if you can reflect like Malefice or the Snake or something like that, I think this would be solid. Man, if he just did the split pushing stuff from the beginning, he would have been in such a better place. Why is he not manting? Does he not understand? I don't think he knows how Manta works. Okay, he finally figured it out. He's very good at blinking to places where his opponents can see him. And he does end up living, but if he just did Manta Blink right at the start of that, it would have all been fine. That was kind of confusing to me. An Illusion Rune. Surely you like that. Guess not. Alright, split pushing continues top. There's the E-Blade ready for the Puck, who doesn't have the 50 damage talent. Oh, jeez, what the hell happened there? That was a DD, right? This guy hits really hard. Oh, and he was amplified by 50% bonus damage because of the Snake. Huh. Maybe this build is real, guys. It's probably not real, but maybe it's real. If you're fighting all the time, it seems like it's okay. But I don't know, but you shouldn't be fighting all the time. So, I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of cool. He's got split shot effects modifiers now. He's going to hit Monkey King bars. He'll go Scotty next. I think that all makes sense. Good options. Does he actually have his... Yeah, he does actually have it. Ooh, that was really close. Okay, he's actually dead. Huge black hole, though. The double ulti. Everybody's so low. They will all die, though. I think. Nigma might just kill himself to Blade Mail, though. This guy needs to leave. He is sticking around. Axe literally saved his life. That was incredible. Buybacks as well. I don't know why Sand King bought back, though, because his whole team... Alright, it actually got the whole 5-man enemy team to leave, it seems. That's all it takes, apparently. For Epicenter Pulses, Pudge's going to be fishing. I think they're going to be way too late, though. JK? Oh, that's good. This guy's regenerating a lot, though. Holy crap. He's a very healthy boy. Sand King could have just blinked Burrow Strike. Stole the cheese. Could have Burrow Strike, didn't. Just kind of like went in the fountain, or went in the Roche Pit. Nigma's still disgustingly farmed. It's about at this point where you start saying, hey, maybe I should have gotten the cooldown reduction, because then my spells would be up faster or something. He's actually also sold his Midas, but that's probably fine considering his build. Have we even seen a Dream Coil in like the whole, ever since he hit 25? I don't think so, man. It's been a long time. What's everybody doing right now? Are they pushing lanes? Kind of. Yes, here. Dire team grouping up to go mid. Bristleback more or less unkillable. Axe also trying to build a Radiance, thinking, hey guys, we need more damage. What he actually needs maybe is... I think a Shiva's could be good, an AC could be good. He's very tanky though. Maybe Radiance is helpful, just for the overall damage, since his allies won't be likely using their abilities correctly. Well, Bristle's super hard to kill. If they do... If they get him solo, they can kill him for sure. This guy is actually just dead. Well, that looks to be a dead Pudge, guys. That looks to be a dead anti-mage too. JK? Yo, if this guy actually just had... Blink, 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 blink. Okay, re-silence. It was worth it! The silence... Super worth. This guy's build is actually really good now. Orchid is actually just countering... Yeah, he needs BKB. Oh, that's a good ulti. That's a really good ulti. Oh, get some kills. Please. Okay, good. They popped. That was Guardian Greaves keeping people alive for sure. He even does good damage too. 150 damage here. 4 epicenter pulses. That was like as good as it gets. Trying to find the heroes, but he's not going to get them, I don't think. Ooh, that's a good stun. I wonder if something like Deso would be kind of fun. If you had like Ags with split shot, you just uses modifiers, because everybody you hit gets the Deso application. It's probably bad this late in the game though, but yeah, this guy needs BKB so bad. There's no way he doesn't get the Sandstorm talent, right? With the way he's been trying to play this game. Yeah, if he just had like a Hood or a BKB or something, I don't know, this would be very different. This guy's doing a really good job to not be useful though. That's definitely true. And he's actually just dead now. He's gonna have to burrow out. That was a very long burrow. Long and healthy burrow. Alright, he's gonna go Lincolns rather than BKB. Still don't think I've seen Dreamcoil Rapid Fire this whole time. Once again, Pudge actually just could have done a Blink ulti. Didn't want to do that either. Team back to Fountain. Anything new here? Nothing yet. It's approaching 25. How's our Darkseer doing? Parallel Wall. I wonder if Iron Shell would have been a better move since he has a Bristle back. Parallel Wall can be really good. It's pretty good against Anti-Mage, I guess, but not sure. What's going on? Once again, our Puck is likely to die here. He does have a cheese, though. It's just so much damage, though. The fact that he doesn't have a Euls is just ridiculous. Because as soon as one guy gets a silence, he dies. And hey, this guy got a silence at level 4, so he's just worthless, basically. Puck has all this advantage, but literally not buying a Euls in his item build has just killed him. If he has Euls, he Eulses, he phase shifts, he blinks away. Problem solved every single time. But one Orchid pickup has kind of really provided a good solution in this game. Aim's still trying to finish his heart, which will help. Still kind of wish it was an Ags, maybe. Maybe that's a bad idea, but primarily he just needs to focus more on split pushing. And in fact, I think I would hit one more creep wave here if I was an AM, because he's going to be here, I guess, but alright, now it's really helpful that he came back. This is good. That said, they're not going to kill him. He needs to stand in the front. He's not doing a good job there. Now everybody dies. Oh my god, the damage. Alright, once again, that is actually just a disgusting amount of damage between these two. Oh, he does have Veil. Okay, I was going to say, I was like, I wish he had Veil. Boom, there it is, 25% more damage. And most of these guys don't have magic resistance, actually. There's a pipe on the Darkseer, I guess. He didn't end up using it, but it's there. So they defend again. But Bristle's actually just hitting buildings. Bristle is remembering that his hero can right-click, which is good to see. And then, because Bristle actually does no damage right-click-wise, doesn't even really matter that much when he gets Blade Mail called. He actually just has so much regen. So the problem basically is that they don't have a Spirit Vessel. They actually really need a Spirit Vessel against this guy. When his heart isn't kicking in, he's healing 70 HP per second between the 20 health regen at 20 and all the other regen items he's got. This is 8.5. This one is 6. Plus just the amount of... any regen he buys, basically, he gets double benefit because of his high strength. So he's actually just kind of unkillable. And his damage is so mediocre, because considering he's all like AoE and spell lifesteal and stuff, that it just doesn't matter if like outside of them having a Silver Edge to break his passive or a Spirit Vessel, they actually just can't kill this guy, and they should have one. And if they nail him with that, he'll lose most of his regen during a fight, and then they can just potentially kill him. But he also still has magic resistance. This is more of like a damage problem. If they have a carry that's like can just like get insane and single target damage, then this works fine. But Anti-Mage usually has like, he definitely has a lot of damage, but he usually doesn't get ridiculously insane and single target. It's more like a mix of split damage. I don't know why this guy didn't just blink in. It's kind of confusing to me. I don't know why none of these guys get to the front of the bristleback. Okay, there they go. Now they can definitely kill him. Anti-Mage, hit him in the face, dude. Okay, you're getting him. Damage in the face. First ulti. Oh, please don't heal through this. Please, dude. Oh, he's going to heal through this. Okay, they eventually got him. That took some doing, though. That was mostly just poor play, like directions there. This Pudge is actually so bad, dude. He's like, I need to land every hook. I cannot use a blink ulti. It's impossible. Yeah, I thought he was going to ulti that one. Oh, he's got the refresher. Yeah, you're going to die. Oh, Blade Mill ran out, actually. Spins at the last second. That's pretty funny. That was so much gold for Axe. But he bought back earlier, so... It's not over yet, though. Guy has an incredible ability to get instantly into the fountain when he needs. You want the regen? Come on, Sandstorm, slow and blind, dude. 50%. His only defense, literally Blade Mail. Ulti! Oh, look at the attacks. Here they come. Ooh. Well, it didn't work, really. His right clicks are not that great anyways. I'm really sad. He went that talent and it just didn't do anything. Because he didn't know, he didn't build around it. He didn't get that much right click. I actually need to leave very soon. How much time we got left? Literally 14 minutes. This is not looking good, guys. So I think what we need to do is follow the perspective of Anti-Mage for the next 7 minutes. He's right-clicking heroes. He's still right-clicking heroes. He has no mana. Still has not enough mana. Oh, he's got an Abyssal Blade now. I wonder if it would have been better for him to go like MKB or something. Oh, their throne is dying. This isn't good. Let's check in on Pudge. Pudge has got this for now. Alright, Pudge does not have this. Dude, this Enigma is actually just killing himself on Blade Mail. He does way too much damage, actually. No, AM. He doesn't really have like an item that he can swap, though. I mean, hypothetically... Ditch Butterfly or something. Maybe go MKB, but that doesn't feel very good. Interesting idea. Just all in on the tower that's backdoor protected. Oh, okay. Oh, now he's losing all of his mana. This is actually huge. Can't even blink. Maybe Malefice the wrong hero here. If he gets some Malefice on AM a little bit earlier, definitely could have had this kill, I think. Lemon grab, do it! It's working! Creep wave is dead. That's it. Alright, good silence, good silence. Nailed him. He's gonna pop. Pop. Well, that's basically half the map. Alright, Pudge finally hit 25, guys. Could have gotten an extra 40, 30 strength or something, but instead opts for dismember duration. I mean, at this point, it's basically just a game of like throwing bodies inefficiently at each other is what we're looking at. Let's watch some Enigma moves. This is where it comes down to, right? He gets all the heroes. He got one. This should be a dead Anti-Mage, right? Ooh, he's lasting a little bit too long. JK? No problem, guys. Puck will be here to auto-attack through Dream Coil. JK, hasn't happened. The Zoning Black Hole. He's actually just tanking through it. I think this is the end of the game. Things like wall are actually becoming really useful here. One dead hero. Not lemon grab. Is that it? Is that it, guys? I feel like that's it for sure. Why does this go on for another 5 minutes, guys? Okay, it doesn't. Bugged replay. GG. Alright, so basically, sloppiness all around. Really inefficient laning play. Like, weak laning play, weak map pressure play. Oh wow, he's oh, this is pretty low. I didn't realize. I didn't look at the replay. I played it from demo before I but this is a pretty low game. Are these heralds, right? What is the... Oh, it gave me a rank. I didn't know that. No, those are guardians. So guardians and crusaders. So they're relatively low level. The newest player from my perception seemed to be Skywrath Mage, I guess. Like, he had the weakest item build by far out of all the players. Am I missing somebody? Laning strategy, Sand Kings was pretty much the worst, but it also kind of worked. Puck did by far the best in the lanes, but he didn't grab the right items to win himself the game, so he kind of messed up a lot. Enigma seemed by far the highest level player here, and I definitely think this is like a Smurf. This guy's rank is way too low considering how he played. Is that necessarily true? He basically used all of his items and skills really well. I think his mechanics are much higher. I think this guy's a Smurf. This guy's a Smurf. Anyone else is anyone else a Smurf here? Maybe Sand King if Sand King's messing around, but the only one that really felt out of place is probably Enigma. So that's probably my verdict on that one. All right, that was Purge Casts Pub. I hope you guys enjoyed the criticism of the players and their abilities and items and things like that. My dog wants me to pay attention to her, so I gotta get going. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.